Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. This the Gatekeepers Musically Speaking Podcast, GKMSP, Season 3, Episode 1, The Industry Unveiled. Yeah, tumerudi, premiering every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Verbal Vein in the vicinity, Mary in a moment, and Shaman in a sector. Yeah, if you're new to this channel, do a drive-by shootout on that subscribe button. You can't miss it, and click in at the bell for notifications. Check out our previous podcast to comment and join the conversation. GKMSP brought to you by Muick Creatives, men with ideas, blood. Yes. Shaman.
Wagwan.
Mari.
Yeah.
Wagwan, man, it's been 3 weeks. Yeah.
3 weeks.
I'm pretty sure there are no listeners out there. But yeah, we are here. You know GKMSP, I was telling Shaman, GKMSP is like an infant. She or he ain't even learned to walk yet. So, we're taking it easy. But we try to prepare some good stuff for you all, man.
For sure. Shout out to our regular listeners. I'm sure they've been starving, waiting for.
Mnasema starving. Kuna wasa wanatumbanga text wakiuliza kwani mlikosana na kina Mari.
What?
Hakuna podcast zinapostiwa tena.
Shout out to those guys.
Groups break up because of money. Nikamwambia hatujapata doso.
For sure. So we got plenty cards, man. Let's just jump right in, man. What's this music competition rising thing, Mari, man?
Yes, an interesting phenomenon from end of 2020, or at least halfway of 2020. There's been so many music competitions coming up, and I find it interesting that there's a mad, should I say, hunger for talent search.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a good thing. I think in terms of the growth of the industry. I don't know what you guys think. Like how come there's so many talent search coming up all at the same time?
First of all, I think what we need, probably the question should be, where is it coming from? Not why is it. It's where it's coming from. Because, we are like third world country, you can't refuse that. So, natufikia sahi. If we miss out on some things, then you will not understand why they're there. For example, Voice of America. You watch that stuff, right?
The Voice.
The Voice. And then there is America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
They went to India and...
those the things, Idol.
Yeah, those things are normally very well scripted out. Some people... there's a friend of mine who introduced me to a nice-ass studio some time back. And we took a studio then. One of the chick who came to sing apparently went for British Got Talent.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Oh, here in Kenya?
Yeah, she went.
Okay.
She went and attended the audition.
Yeah.
And so when she was giving the narration of how the audition was, I was surprised, bro. Like at studio you go, you book a ticket.
Yeah.
Flight she flew over, she booked herself into a hotel, and then she went for the interview. They told her they're going to schedule her for the studio time, and then she interviewed. It was okay. She passed the first stage, so they told her what to do on the next one, how to present herself, which song to sing, which. So they prepare you for the audition.
What? They do all that? Okay.
Yeah, they do.
That's interesting.
So when they're showing, like the long lines and people's background stories.
That's before qualifying.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
She never.
That's interesting.
Her shit was never aired, bro.
Yeah. But she went through all that.
She went through all those things. So when you say now we're here and people are auditioning for the news, history, anchoring and whatnot auditions. Come on, if you ask me, I think that's just media garbage again all over. Because when they say, for example, rape cases have increased in Kiambu. Okay?
Yeah.
First question you should ask.
Yeah.
Is it because they are now being reported more often?
Yeah, okay.
Or there's an agenda they are pushing in terms of policy or maybe regulations. For example, COVID. They say the cases have risen up, and so we need to have lockdowns. People need to sell more sanitizers. People need to sell more masks. Remember, the issue is not wearing a mask. The issue is more selling.
Yeah.
So I think this is in light of a couple of weeks ago when Ebru TV, they were announcing like auditions for a presenter. So like the next day, like there were like 400 to 500 guys who were packed over there in front of their stations. And then, there are guys who are commenting like, oh, look at Kenya, man. Look at what Ron has done. Look at our state, man. People are broke. People are out there starving, trying to get deals, man. This is so sorry. It's a sorry state. But what you do not remember is when it comes to auditions, a lot of people tend to gather around those places. It happens all the time, even before the Rona, even before, Kenyans being unemployed and stuff like that. So maybe we could debunk that. But also, I think also with this, their shows are starting to open up. Like, for example, Hip Hop Garage, they have something on 12th happening. So tickets, but it's only 20 people. So you see, there's a kind of like this opening up after the pandemic, but it's slowly. So you have a lot of guys now, okay, we're looking for performers. Okay, we're looking to have music competitions. Yeah. Basically, it could be like maybe guys are trying to come back to their normal way of lives after this devastating pandemic.
We all need to agree that normal is not coming back. First of all, normal is not coming back. And when you talk about, for example, these scheduled interviews and whatnot, and the public picking up on saying it's a sorry state, there are so many things that we could delve into, and other than the said unemployment rate, all those things, they are reality, okay? Yeah. But when the spin is attached to it, then someone is controlling the narrative, you see? Yeah. Mari, we are in the business, okay? Yeah. We're in the business. Yeah. So when you're talking about Ebru TV attracting 4,000 interviews on the first day, come on, bro, that's a very effective marketing. Yeah. If you ask me, if you call people and 500 turn on the first day, that is a job well done,
Yeah, true.
So what is this issue with Eric Omondi?
Okay.
I heard Eric Omondi has been having some beef with...
with Ezekiel Mutua.
Yes.
It's not Mutai.
No, it's Mutua.
It's Mutua. The guy with a mustache.
Yeah, like
he gives mustache a bad name.
So this is a beef between comedian Eric Omondi and the Kenya Film Classification Board CEO.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Mutua.
Yeah, I think he was called. Eric Omondi was called out for. Apparently posting. Yeah. Was that the issue?
Yeah, he posed in boxers with his bigger body. He's been working out and he oiled himself up and displayed himself naked.
So brings us to the agenda of censorship and this Kenya Film Classification Board.
Yeah. So Eric Omondi was asking, why is this guy so tough on him?
Yeah.
Not tough on him, ideally. Why does he seem to be tough on him when the wrestling matches are aired in the open for all to see? Well, grown-ass men with muscular bodies are posing naked, just like him. So why is that not a problem? And him is a problem.
That's interesting. What I picked up from that convo was Eric Omondi was talking about him not supporting or bringing out or celebrating the positive achievements that Kenyan artists or Kenyan entertainment industry players are achieving, and always being on the forefront of criticizing things, which I found to be very interesting because he pointed out something which also got me thinking. He asked, what has Ezekiel Mutua done for the entertainment industry since he came in?
Yes.
If I may, nothing. Well, I remember the first time Ezekiel Mutua came to the forefront was sometime when this Gengeton was picking up. And we all know Gengeton has very good backing from very strong stakeholders in the industry. And if anything, that seemed to be overlooked by Ezekiel Mutua. You see, because wasanii ni vio za jamii. So if at all there's anyone to blame, it's the society. It should talk more of where he sees the entertainment being, rather than where the entertainment industry is. He's the man in charge. Who is he blaming, Sasa?
Yeah, and my thinking is, if you're to maybe say make policies on things in the entertainment industry, it would be best to have someone who has information on how the industry works, and not so much a mirage of what happens. Because, for example, I'm not saying that having content inappropriate for children should be advocated for, but if all someone does is criticize what is happening, but does not offer solutions, then wouldn't you say that person is part of the problem?
And it will be funny because you have these guys for Kenyan film, part of also their duty is not only just censoring stuff, because that almost seems like when it comes to censoring,
the only thing they do.
They are the only guys who appear. When it comes to somebody's creative projects, haonekani, they only come, this has been censored, we don't. So they are kind of trying to play that police type role, That's all we are here for.
Do you remember a time when there had been this advocating for music videos paying a license?
Yeah.
If you ask me, how would anyone who understands how the industry works and the
paying a license to who?
Paying a license to the Kenya Film Classification Board. Is it Kenya Film Commission? I'm not sure which. But how would the artist in Kenya is already struggling enough to invest and make that kind of video or...
Don't call it investment yet.
Kuna Kenya Film Classification Board, alafu tena kuna Kenya Film Commission.
Yeah.
But even those two...
is in the itself.
Oh, they're also inside,
It's normally inside. The commission is inside. So don't call it investment, Mari. Say to produce the content. Produce the content. Investment comes, it's the whole thing. Because we all agree. Kenyans know the investment, we are not yet bad to the investment. Most artists don't invest.
Kuna some good stuff that hata nimeona, like on YouTube they have that Nairobi Half-Life. It's a movie, it's on YouTube, anyone can see it. It was well made, it was well produced. And I'm really sure even the other movies that are coming, you can't compare them to the funny Uganda or Hollywood movies.
The funny thing is, Joe, if I may surprise you, the Ugandans are doing much better in terms of payments. With their funny videos.
For their films. And you can even see, for Uganda or Hollywood, that is ultra-violent movies. We have kids doing taekwondo, kids pepetering guys. And they promote it because it's entertainment at the end of the day. It's not like that if these kids see this, they're going to go there start pepetering. You know what I'm saying? So like the level of censorship, looking down on people, like saying, okay, now this is completely not us, so we can't allow this,
It's a cultural shift, if you ask me. We need to account for the cultural shift. Vile sisi tumezoea hata politics zetu hapa is full of conmanship. And I say this with all due respect. People don't want to have honest conversations at all. Even the classifications. We were just talking about the Netflix thing. You see, there's structures specifically in place so that you are not prohibited to be creative, but your distribution of your content is categorized, okay? Is put to specific audiences. No. There's adult content. Porno, mwenye alikuja na porno, is not a bad creative. You know, there's a thought process behind it.
It is actually an art form.
Yeah,
when you're an adult.
There you go. And now there's like the animation Juke is working on.
Mountain City.
So like that one, you don't expect it to be targeted to the audience, to the adult audience as well, you see. Because it's not... Now adults have the discretion to either watch it or not. But the kids need to have monitored content. Now Ezekiel Mutua should now probably just come. We know we have.
For a fact that he should give it to his subordinates.
Thank you.
Those are small deals. Those are small
issues. Sasa anafaa kuwa kama hawa watu wanatuuzianga madawa ya kulevya. You know, they sell you the drugs and they make a rehabilitation center hapo kando.
You know, my thinking would be, I think he should play, or the government should play a bigger role in encouraging film productions.
That's what they should be doing.
At
the top.
Yeah.
This is zingine protecting children. That one you give to your guys to handle, set up a committee. Them, you know.
And funny thing, like what you pointed out, how the Ugandan, what is it called? Wakaliwood.
Who killed Captain Alex.
Yeah, you see, like in terms of, in comparison to the Kenyan, they call it Riverwood. If anything, from my perspective or my thinking, Riverwood has gone down over the years instead of going up.
It's non-existent.
Yeah, and why is that happening? It's because the film industry is not receiving support, the proper support it should be.
Wanna suffocate.
Yeah.
So let's talk about High Court. High Court, they were told by DSTV. High Court
was in Kenya.
Yes. High Court ya Kenya.
Yeah.
DSTV waliambia High Court ya Kenya. These internet providers, two service internet providers.
Yeah.
To close about 140 websites who stream live sports because DSTV want to be there. But now here's the thing. My decoder, where's my decoder? My decoder is in an old box under a PlayStation and a VHS player. Because nobody uses decoders nowadays.
Now, it's interesting that you say that, because one of the things I came across in practice is the way our Kenya atmosphere, so to say, or the sphere, Kenya, let's just use Kenya. Is being
the environment.
The environment is being exploited by the big corporations. For example, things like Safaricom. Now we have DSTV, and then you have Kenya Power. I think you saw even the story, Solar and Kenya Power.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think they're saying people are going to Solar, so they're losing business. Solar should be abolished or something. Should be restricted.
Okay.
Now DSTV are saying people are streaming too much football on the internet. They should be banned. Bro, internet is
it is impossible to... Then they're saying banning websites. DSTV do not understand that people share links. These are not good links to a website. These are just links. You share them, you copy, and it opens another page. So by the time you ban a website, that person will just send a link on YouTube, on Facebook, on WhatsApp.
And one of the things the law says, you cannot engage the court in vain. If the court gives orders, the orders should be practical and enforceable. Now you're blocking a website which gives links to other places. How does that order get implemented?
So, even people online have said the High Court is wasting its time with DSTV. You will see now resources have been wasted on such ventures.
I think what DSTV may be trying to do is noble in quotes, the fight against piracy. But then again, I would argue it this way.
Streaming live sports.
Okay, I would argue it in two ways.
That is piracy.
Obviously.
Yeah, and I would say, for example, for a Manchester match to be aired, the stakeholders, including Manchester, the club, have stakes in getting money from the places where the match is aired. And so it is understandable for them to try and capitalize on that. Now, in Kenya, the matches which are aired for, say, even local matches, do they get to benefit the clubs or even the players who are invested in the game?
And the culprit here is DSTV and their monopoly.
Yeah, and you see, I think that is...
People have been paying DSTV high prices. And now people have just left DSTV because they found more cheaper ways.
And again, I would also argue it in a second way. Is there's the fight or the competition between old school media and new school media.
Oh, I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, because you see, nowadays, live broadcasts or what do you call it? Mass media, TV episodes. People are shifting more towards
internet sources.
Yeah, online. Internet, or there's a name they give it,
social media.
No, you see how you control what you watch.
Yeah.
On TV, you don't choose what you watch. On YouTube, you choose how the sequence of what you watch.
I'm not going to sit down on DSTV and let them show me what to watch. Those things I can't do.
Yeah.
That's another thing that Juk seems to be very in touch with this thing. So when you pay, they have packages. And these packages, probably what you'd expect is that we'll give you 22 channels. You pick which ones do you want.
Yeah.
No, for them, they give you a package. Completely.
Afadhali Netflix.
Yeah, and you see, come on Netflix, part of the reason why it's gaining popularity is because people have the power to choose what they'll watch. So you go to Netflix and say, okay, I'll watch this movie. After that, I'll watch this other movie. And you have the power to select. And I think that is where the world seems to be heading towards.
Okay. So, Mike Tyson, if I tell Mike Tyson, has it happened? Tyson versus Jones?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And don't be surprised this whole thing is staged, just like all his other matches.
Let's talk about match fixing.
Match fixing.
Me, all I know is in Reso, it's not even actually sports. It's a combination of how you say acting, performing, gymnastics. Because even in Reso, there are those performers who are really good on the mic, very lousy on the ring. So at times, even the CEO says, I want you guys to say more and fight less. Maybe jump around the stage or something. But those guys who cannot... The best wrestler is a wrestler who can fight, jump around, and is also good on the mic.
Yeah, I would say...
Guys like the Hardy brothers, Mike Hardy, that guy is very good at performing and also fighting. So you have special kind of situations. But let's talk about match fixing. Match fixing for the boxings and the sports that are not necessarily, or we don't expect them to be fixed.
Yeah, I think in terms of if you look at, say, for example, boxing, and the match fixing concept is as old as the sport itself, if I may, or the development of the industry or in boxing. Because there's movies even based on that, like Rocky.
Yeah. That Don guy, that Don King. Don King was also a match fixer.
He was a promoter.
Yeah. So I think it's a reality as part of the industry, but questioning the morality to it, as opposed to the money-making ventures that people are invested into. Because match fixing, for example, when they talk about match fixing, the reason why that happens is because people have placed bets on the opponents. And so if one wins or the other one loses, people are bound to make a certain amount based on that information. And you see that it's you could say it's it's a tricky subject. It's a tricky subject.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of sports, man, rest in peace, Maradona, man.
Oh, yeah, one of the greatest.
I have a lot of respect for Maradona. I was seeing some meme where he went to heaven and was giving God back his hand. And it got me thinking, some of these things, if there was no record of it, people would insist it's conspiracy theory. Like, okay, Maradona has passed on at the age of 60.
Yeah.
Ulisikia they wanted to make him a coach of Manchester. All out.
He tried. He was pushing for it. But you see, the problem was Maradona was not stable. During his high times, he was doing a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
And he really abused his body. I remember having a conversation with one of my older persons. And he was telling me, oh man, it's very unfortunate that Maradona has passed on. My response was, it's amazing how he survived this far. Because this guy was popping coke and all those sorts of drugs, proper hard drugs. And then it brings me back to the question where they say, every day you smoke marijuana, you reduce your lifespan. Juke, did you know?
Yeah. But every day you breathe, you also lose your lifespan.
So what are you saying? You want to finish it faster?
Live fast, very fast.
I don't know. My thinking is there's a lot of things that the current culture, or should I say call it pop culture, seems to encourage, then criticizes the people who are... say, for example, let me give an example of Maradona. Because of his crazy talent and crazy capabilities, he was pushed by people in the same industry towards addiction so that he could be exploited. Because otherwise, Maradona would probably be one of the richest sports figures in the world. Like the people who made money from him exercising his talent made way more than, disproportionately more than he did. And you see, he was pushed into that lifestyle, which is, again, something people don't properly acknowledge. Because you don't just decide to go for things without being exposed to them. At certain levels of, say, achievement, you find, say, for example, even music stars, like the big music stars, they are pushed more towards that so that they can be exploited. And I find it a very, very sad, happening, because people in the limelight are put in a position to be criticized, while the culprits behind those events remain untouched.
Let's talk about football soccer in Kenya. Comoros vs Kenya, kwani kuliendaje?
Your match missing watch.
Tulitwangwa, man.
Your match. What happened? What happened, you?
I don't know, guys are saying which the coach who was put hadn't been coaching for like years, man. Sini Ghost ndio alirudishwa.
I didn't watch it because of that.
Yeah.
I had Mule is the coach now. And I was like, I thought we were done with Mule. Because this guy went into radio and he was laughing ridiculously and he made a name out of it. He's making a living out of his laughter. Where they have this radio show, talk show, where you call in into a patanisho. Patanisho. So you call and tell them your problems, and then they laugh at you. And apparently it's so common, it's so popular.
Mashinani.
Not Mashinani, no.
Grassroots.
It's very popular.
Yeah,
but I've had guys even like getting on a matatu.
So actually, a comedian is the coach of Kenya.
So you call him and tell him, bibi yangu anipikia ukali, sijui nini, and then they tell you, bado kona yeye. and they laugh and they laugh.
See, they host the show with, is it Giddy Giddy? Yeah.
Giddy Ghost.
Oh, yeah.
So that has been his current thing. So how the hell?
So I don't know what he did different to be entitled to go back to coaching. So when I heard it goes to Mulendo coach, I was like, let them just play.
No wonder.
But my thinking is, for example, when you're talking about the Kenyan football scene, you'd find, for example, a coach who's been coach for the national team should be able to make a living out of coaching.
It's very hard. Even you have that boxer who used to help Kenya in the 80s, Sikuizi, he lives in deplorable conditions in a shack. But also there are things that come like mental issues.
Yeah, even Konje is, there's again bringing out the same issue I was discussing earlier. You find someone is propagated to the limelight, used, then say dumped. And if someone is not, say, smart enough to navigate and find other options or do other things.
This smart thing Mario referred to, would it be mental health?
I would say for anyone in the limelight, I think mental health is a consideration. But I think it is used. Again, I think it is used as a cover-up for people who abuse other or misuse other people to make money.
Because it is a common practice. There's a star, there's a sports guy. They get very, very high, and then something happens, and then they are off.
There's this lead singer for Aerosmith, the one who's saying, "I don't want to be." I don't want to say it. You know the song, Aerosmith, right? So he was in an interview with Joe Rogan, and he was saying how he was signed into the label, and one of the signing conditions was that he was given a look that he would wear at the time of performing the music only. And if he wore that, and he was not performing, he would be breaching the terms of the conditions of the agreement.
Oh, you're speaking of Steven Tyler.
Actually,
nigga looks like he's dressed in drag, man.
So that was the look he was given, And he said, when they were coming up, what they used to be, walikuwa wanafanyiwanga ni walikuwa wanapewa drugs and a lot of girls, and then they're given good news. For example, like
the rockstar lifestyle.
You're going to be given there's a show. You've just got a show, so you guys just have to sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here. They're high, remember? They're high, and all they had to do was just play the guitar riffs and write songs and all those things. So when he got this old. That's when he realized, like, yo, hold up. We're getting too old for this shit. And we got nothing to show for it. And when I walk in the street in myself, no one seems to recognize me. I'm like, yo, I'm the guy who sang this song. And I was like, nah, you're not.
With a face like that, bro? nah.
So
but the thing is, I think people should not shy away from going indie. If things are not happening as well as they should be at the top, you at the top, unaona, hey, things up. In the next 2 years, I will have nothing. It is not bad to go indie. Indie as an independent. You just try to do your own thing. Because I saw a documentary of some chick. She was an actor. She was Latin and African American. And she did some music, and then she was told how they wanted the music. They wanted her to just do only Latino. So she said, I'm also mixed. Can't I do what I want? They said no. They stopped playing her music when she started getting stubborn and stuff like that. But when you see many years right now she's in her 50s. She still does music. She sells fruits in California. People kind of tend to help themselves. But if you try to get stuck up there, people are going to stick you up.
There's so many. It's interesting that you mentioned that. Because Black Eyed Peas. You guys have had Black Eyed Peas. They had a first girl who was black. It's not Faggy. Before Faggy, there was a black girl in the Black Eyed Peas. And she was giving a story of how she was replaced because they now started asking her to be sexualized, have less on and appear in certain ways, change the lyrics to be in a certain way. When she refused, they dropped her.
Yeah.
And that's when Fagi came.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I've had the same thing happen. Do you guys remember Destiny's Child?
Yeah.
And how many chicks were in Destiny's Child initially?
I don't remember.
I think there were either 4 or 5. And at one point, the others were sort of phased out. And it's funny because if you go back and look at the content that they were doing earlier on, you'll see some chicks who were part of the group, but
never made it to the group.
Yeah, and the stories behind that were that they did not meet up to the, say, conditions set for
the group.
For the group.
Yeah.
And it's also a bit controversial about what the conditions were and what they were expected to do.
Yeah. That's why when you say people are being propagated to a certain direction, it's the same thing like here. Juicy, we were talking about how Churchill was ranting about how comedians are now getting off the rails and whatnot. And you see, it's more like the expectation is there, but how the way people go about it is very different. Because they believe a creative must be under some sort of influence to churn out his best content, right? Like if you're a comedian, you must be high on something so you can have the funniest jokes. If you're a musician, you must be high on marijuana so you can come up with the best lyrics or most provoking. Something like that, which sometimes is not true. Most of the time it's not true.
Yeah, I think that my perspective is that is intentionally made propaganda to push, to be able to gain control of the artist.
Speaking of propaganda, let us jump to the American elections. Biden has won. The Democrats are taking over. For me, it's still the same, guys.
It is. Because when they say the left and the right wing, it's of what? The first and the left wing of what? It's of the same thing. I think also both of them are white supremacists.
Yeah. Okay.
From the early 1960s, let me try and put in some more effort in this. From the early 1960s, they've been passing policies that are against Black Americans. Blacks in America. Let's not say Black Americans because there are people who are Africans are not blacks anyway.
Yeah.
So Africans, dark-skinned people in America, have been used deliberately.
Yeah.
Okay? And every time they start talking about Democrats, Republicans, these are just gimmicks. Both of them are white supremacists.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, right now, the person who's saying he's going to do the most amazing things for the blacks and whatnot. They even turned Kamala's race into a Black American. That woman is Indian, if anything. She's more Indian than African.
The Indians are celebrating her more than, in Africa.
Joe Biden passed laws that have convicted blacks in America and subjected them to unemployment as latest as 1992.
It is very, very bad. Because there's something Young Jeezy said in one of his songs, real G shit, man, that's really unheard of when you get more time for selling dope than murder. You see that?
Man.
Yeah? You, for selling crack, for selling cocaine in the streets, you will go in time more than this white crazy person who murdered his family.
Whoa.
That's kind of shit.
Crazy.
And the funniest part is, the American prison system is privately owned.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest in the world.
Oh, yeah. And they produce things in prison. In Kenya here.
This is your land of freedom.
In Kenya here, all our prisoners normally do small things like produce number plates, small
like
things.
Furniture and stuff.
And then they sell them for so much money and they pay you cents. In prison, you are paid for that job, but it's in cents. Now in America, it's like $1 a day, I don't know, something like that, cents a day for your hard labor. Now, they realized blacks are getting degrees in prison. What did they do? They scrapped off education in prison.
Because the issue of prison society, of correctional for society, is leaving people there to do nothing.
Yeah.
There is nothing as irritating to a man as sitting somewhere and having nothing to do. And the people who are watching you are trying to make sure you have nothing to do.
You see, man, that's why I was very keen on taking on this American thing in a different way and comparing it to Africa, Hapa, Kenya specifically. You see, for example, they're saying they're going to give blacks good deals. We need these things to be written down, okay? We need policies. We don't need talks. Now I saw Ice Cube is coming, he's on negotiating with Antonani, Trump.
Was he there? I heard that stuff.
Yeah, and Ice Cube now is the center of it all. Bro, let's be honest. Let's have honest conversations. Since when did Ice Cube become a leader? Since when?
I can say maybe NWA when they were rapping "Fuck the Police."
Thank you. That's activism. People like Tupac were doing activism. Ice Cube was smart from way back NWA time. He's been very smart. But let's be honest, he's never been trying to save the whole community.
Yeah, that would be dangerous. The feds would put a hole in his
Thank you.
in his cerebellum.
Now that he's Kanye West was vying for presidency, yo bro, they're making people look like fools. It's like gimmicks.
And I don't know what you guys make of how the highest post in, say, American politics, or even, say, because the president is called the president of the free world, the highest post probably in the free world, has so far been taken up by entertainers. Case in point, Trump. Then if we go back to the 80s, we're talking about Ronald Reagan.
They're talking to some celebrities. Already there are some celebrities who have been talked up about Michael McConaughey wants to be governor of Texas.
Yeah, what?
Yes.
Oh, then there's Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's, I don't know if he still is governor of California.
Yeah, did this time.
Yeah. What do you guys make of entertainers blending into politics? Or even like positions of leadership?
Look like Trump. When you just enter politics, it's a joke. You're doing nothing.
This other thing that people are talking about, American presidents being chosen and not elected, like how Trump came in, Obama, and funny thing is, we were talking with some of the guys I know, and they were saying Obama did very nice things, and even he was given the Nobel Prize. And
let me tell you, the issues with Obama. My issue with those Obama is Libya and Syria. Wait, when Libya was attacked, Obama was head of state.
I think so.
Yeah. So those are my issues, man. Big time issues.
He's the one. Obama dropped more bombs than any president in America.
Syria was devastated. And it was Reagan. Reagan in Colombia. Imagine they're supposed to attack a country, but they drop more bombs in this other country because they're saying the rebels in this other country are the problem. So those people are showered.
Then that makes Obama number 2 in the bombs era. And
because Syria was flattened, man.
What is the reason they did that for Syria? Because they are the ones who are supplying the guns. Remember the ammunitions and everything. They are the ones. Joe Biden is pictured with the ISIS guys.
Yeah. What? The issue is now the ISIS who had funded their Grand Namok. Who is that? He had a name, the leader of ISIS. The guy was assassinated.
Is it Osama?
No.
That's way after.
That's way after. I think Trump took credit for killing the guy.
Yeah.
And he was saying how he has performed. I don't know why, for some reason.
Baghdadi.
Yeah.
I remember that name.
It's interesting if you look at it, especially ISIS guys, the same as Boko Haram. Apparently I was in the same class with some guy in Boko Haram.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
These guys do education as a serious thing. They are self-contained. They have accountants, they have lawyers, they have doctors, they have everything.
But the Wahhabist extremist ideologies are very dangerous, man.
Yeah, I remember
Wahhabism.
Like this Al-Shabaab at one point were recruiting Kenyan locals, and they were even recruiting from high-level educational facilities like universities and stuff, which would beg the question, why would someone who's gotten to that level of education...
Poverty.
And the other thing is, you see, I think the way the system works is that for there to be the system, then they take up this, there's a name for it. Then you create a crisis, then you solve it.
Crisis capitalism.
So they create a crisis and they solve it. So they come here, they radicalize a couple of people here, there. For example, let's talk about Congo. Congo is in the middle of nowhere, right? It has no access to the ports.
Actually, Congo will need an actual full episode. But
it has no access to the ports. It's landlocked, okay? But these guys have the latest guns, the latest computers, the latest whatnot. Why? Because there is vested interests.
Coltan.
iPhones, Zotoka, Samsung, computer chips and all those things. All that raw material.
Uranium.
They get it from there. Now, I don't know where US gets uranium from, because they were saying Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton were selling uranium to Iran.
And let's not forget Joe Biden's son is now a big guy in a Ukrainian power company.
So
there was that controversy. How he got there.
He's there. You can go and even say.
I think they were debating it even in the elections. I think Trump probably raised that somewhere.
He brought it up.
Which is interesting because, I've been sort of looking at the politics there, and I don't know if you guys heard this. This time Trump got the coronavirus and got well. What did you guys make of that?
I didn't want to get into that, Barry. Please don't drag me into it. Number one.
We're at Congo, Bado.
Let's stay at Congo for a minute.
Okay.
So, how does Congo become that unstable? And it's in the middle of nowhere. How do these arms get there? How do these raw materials leave Congo? I mean,
personally, I think it has been centuries of a lot of abuse, especially from the first guy who owned Congo, that King Leopold. That guy was a tyrant. He took over that Congo Free State and then enslaved people. Young people, Africans were cutting their hands if they do not work. It was really brutal. To a time, Belgium said, Leopold, let us take over. But now, taking over is cool. A little of the 1940s came through. Maybe Congo may be free. It may be free. You remember now the Lumumbas and it was Seseko. That guy fucked up that country. Wow. There's no one who can fuck up. Because the funny thing, Congo has been estimated to have the hydroelectric capacity of powering the whole African continent. Right now, it is at 2%. All that time, you wonder, what do Pan-African leaders sit down and discuss? Because in some countries abroad, power in the national grid is a matter of national security.
It is. It is. And that's why you find people like America and Europe are very serious about the power stuff, Huko stima hazipoteangi, bro. Stima hazipotei.
Especially when it comes to oil and coal.
Stima zikipotei is a big deal. But yet, they have nuclear wastes, which they pass over to Africa and some abandoned countries. For example, Australia. It's a den for dumping nuclear wastes.
Mad Max inakuja to Australia very early.
Apparently it's because Australia is made up of criminals, the way to establish it was for criminals.
Convicts.
Convicts and whatnot. And now, they have no say. Wanapewa tu with nuclear waste. Na kuna time, In West Africa, walishikanga ship with nuclear waste being passed off as fertilizer.
Yeah.
Did you know in northeastern Kenya, nuclear waste was dumped?
Yeah.
The time, let's not get there because we'll get ourselves into too much trouble.
That is dangerous.
Yeah, that's very dangerous. And that's
which country? Because I know France have a huge. Most of the France electricity comes from nuclear power plants. So you wonder where they.
Europe, America as well.
And I don't know if this statistic is wrong, but I think if I remember correctly, Congo is the largest source of uranium in the world.
Yeah.
It has so much capacity. The problem is I think the issue is the Congo citizen has never been given his rights because there's a lot of militarism. There are a lot of small kundis fighting. And also they have a problem with Rwanda and UG because there are a lot of relations. There are people who are born with the same identity. And then now you have all kinds of weird groups being formed by all kinds of investors. Shoot here, go there, shoot there. There's completely no, I don't know. You know, it's just uncivilized there. It's crazy.
Funny thing, in school I did international relations, and Congo was one of the interesting subjects we went through.
Yes,
and do you know their military bases or military, what do you call them, like peacekeeping tractions or units from almost all the major powers in the world based in Congo. And this is not even so much hidden knowledge. It is stuff we were being taught in school.
You can clearly see
do
there are a lot of vested interests.
Yeah.
There are just too many.
Their soldiers are staged there or put there to exploit the resources, not so much to keep the peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's another thing, Barry, you're bringing up, eh?
Yeah.
Peacekeeping missions. There's a time Kenya was in Somalia.
Yeah.
And the Somalis did not like it because Kenyans were just there to loot charcoal.
Yeah.
And the oil. Because you see, there's a trade route in Somalia right there, yeah?
Yeah.
So Kenyans wanted control of that shit and they were just exporting materials out of Somalia. And they did not like it. And they were there to peacekeep. Which brings another thing. Now, think about Congo with all those raw materials, eh? And then you are peacekeeping there. That is why every country is scrambling to have representation in Congo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why even you hear the Congolese civilians, they're always complaining about foreigners. But also the issue now is, but Congolese citizen is a very sad individual. Because them, they can speak, but no one is going to listen. Because them, they have no power. These foreigners who come have more human rights than them.
Because they're protected by the corporation. Again, you need to remember, the corporation is a made-up thing. It is not. It is not a natural being. It is an artificial being with legal rights.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's attributed legal rights as if it's human, yet it's not. That is what capitalism has brought to Africa, especially. And then they introduce other things like grants. You know, they tell you they give you grants, for example, to build the Mombasa Road Superhighway. I wonder how many Kenyans are using the airport road, bro. How many are going to the airport? Like, we need to decongest that way. Anyway, it's a long thing. It's too much. It's too much. When it comes to that kind of stuff, it's just too much.
First we focused on Congo. There's also Ethiopia and the Tigray regions.
Oh dear.
I hear it's the leading tribes who are fighting each other.
Oh man.
Afu Tigray, that tribe that is up there in the north is also throwing stuff into Eritrea.
We need to go back to history for this one.
Yeah.
Ethiopia is the only country that was never colonized.
Yeah.
In Africa. Now, think about it.
The issue now is like those two tribes who are fighting each other.
Funny thing is, I remember we also did this partially in school. The tribe, we even got someone from Ethiopia to come and talk about this. The two tribes, in quotes, are not even tribes. Like for the battle for Ethiopia and Eritrea to come up, the president of Ethiopia and president of Eritrea were brothers. Like related, not brothers, like related by blood brothers. So the division there is not even, you cannot say it's tribal, because it is people of the same ethnic background being pitched against each other. And they were assigned, even the dialect they speak is pretty much the same. And they were assigned different roles, like different names, to divide them. But historically, they are the same people. They have the same background, more or less like the Rwandan Hutu and Tutsi.
Yeah.
Historically, they are from the same background. And the only thing that came to divide them was the names given. In fact, at one point...
They look very different, right?
Yeah, at one point, the colonial powers in Rwanda...
They favored the Tutsis.
Not favored. They made sure everyone got registered according to tribe, because they were trying to divide, to find who is based on what. And if you look keenly, even in the tribes, the division historically is very vague.
It's virtual.
Yeah, it is something which was constructed, not so much a part of history.
Very interesting statement, Barry, you made there.
Yeah.
It's made up, right? It's made up.
Yeah. Mm.
There is a history book which says,
yeah,
give a man
a
reason to doubt himself,
and
he will self-perpetuate the lie for generations to come.
Yeah. Oh, funny thing, you talked about even the features. Do you know they were encouraged to register based on the features, not so much that they knew themselves as Hutu and Tutsi. Yeah. Like they were encouraged, like you have these features, so you must be Hutu. You have these features, so you must be Tutsi.
That's messed up. Expound on what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying, yeah.
One of the elements in terms of slavery, and manipulation of the people and everything else. Now we go back to politics and basics of politics,
Yeah.
Slaves were told about your division, So they were divided. Wakaza kuambiwa, this one is more dark, this one is more brown, you know? That spread through from the early slavery times to now in America, that they've even gone as far as saying West Coast, East Coast. And every time there was some sort of unity, it had to be disbanded. What happened, especially, let's talk about hip hop.
Gang warfare.
Tupac and Biggie.
Let me tell you, even gang warfare right now, it has become worse. Last month alone, King Von was shot. Last month alone, MO3 was shot, all within a distance of 2 weeks.
And Death Row is said to be a CIA operative. Did you know, Juke?
Death Row Records?
Yeah. Suge Knight and all that stuff.
Of course, for the CIA to infiltrate Suge Knight. Suge Knight is a criminal, man.
They infiltrated that stuff so that they can have access to the black community.
Wait, what? Suge Knight, is that an artist or is that
an
organization?
The guy was involved in Tupac's murder.
Yeah,
I think.
So they say.
Okay. Yeah.
But the reality is, CIA and FBI were all over that shit. And they kept the division. And that's why they were telling Akina Tupac and Biggie that, this beef will sell records and whatnot. And they got Akina Tupac to start doing less conscious music for the sake of promo, do gangster rap and nini yote imekina NWA.
It's the same thing. Unajua the King Von's guys, he came from Chicago. He ran away from there because another rapper was shot there 2 months ago. So he ran from Chicago, he came to Houston, Atlanta. So he was signed by Lil Durk. Lil Durk was also gangbanging. The problem of some of these guys, when also they make their music, they say what they are doing. I catch a body, killer sir, catch a body, I come through, I catch a body, I fuck your bitch, I catch a body. So, it's a lot of violence and guns on TV and stuff like that. So there's another thing, this guy he's called Skinny Jesus, White Jesus. There was like a white rapper. He was skinny and started rapping about guns. After some time, he was told, stop rapping about those guns. Guys are going to catch you. So he stopped rapping about guns. The problem of now, a lot of Chicago rappers, young guys, they're all there flossing around with their guns, catch a body, bang, bang. And the issue is these things actually come through. Guys come, they will rob you. Me, if I was a rapper, I'd go to another city, guys know, we are in the Koyo club. They're not going to arrest me because they found King Von's killer. They were beefing in the same city. That guy came with his crew, puffed the nigger. Yeah. But for guys like Mo3 was robbed on a highway at lunch. They stopped the car, they started shooting. Mo3 runs, bah! He is shot. They don't know who robbed him because a lot of rappers are getting caught. Body snatcher type stuff, man.
That's why the thing is the idea. Yeah. Now, we need to be a little bit conscious about the ideas we're passing across, so that we're not giving up the wrong ideas to people and then blaming the outcome of it. Like, we didn't even mean it like that. We didn't. No. Yeah. These ideas are being perpetuated by specific people, which we know the people, but we just can't do anything about it because they're the guys with the money, you know. For example, we were talking about the promo of Remy Martin. And we were talking about how King Kaka should have interacted with the brand. And you see, for example, like in the council, like you promote Blue Moon, you know, Chrome vodka or something like that. And you see, there are certain elements when it comes to brand interactions. And for example, you're an ambassador of a brand. Yeah. The ambassadorship is dictated for specific things. You sign a contract where they tell you, you make sure we approve your post before you post it. As if you would sabotage your own brand by sabotaging their brand. Because remember, this thing is an association. Me and you, we are going to do this, right? So how will I do this thing in a bad way? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So by the time these guys are promoting things like Chrome, I think they should come with just having a disclaimer, alcohol that's not enough. It's not enough. Truth be told, tobacco is more lethal than bang, is it?
Big time.
But it's being sold as long as they have a photograph of spoiled teeth. Like, really? Those are the consequences of cigarette smoking. That's the worst you can come up with. Rotten teeth. Yeah. Guys, a kind of cancer, banner. Yeah. Secondhand smoke, cancer. Not even smoking itself. Yeah. Secondhand, those kind of things, for example, I would think if you're going to be an ambassador for a brand, the least you can come up with is something for the community. It's the same way you go mining in Congo and you help the community, the local community on the ground, right? This guy's cigarette smoking is being mined here. Alcohol, they're mining the people. What are they giving back to the community?
Yeah. It seems times is almost up. It seems times is almost up. We're supposed to even talk about the fentanyl epidemic, but let us do our last words, man. Let us wind up and do our last words.
Yeah, I think you brought up some interesting analogies on pushing agendas and pushing brands pushing agendas. And I think artists should be more conscious on what, for example, the Gengeton artists who are seemingly pushing, should I say, gang-related.
Gengetons are safe.
Yeah. And you see,
let them do what they want, man.
Yeah, you see, they try to reflect what is happening in their society or in their lifestyles, but who is encouraging them to portray that as a normal?
You're the one who's encouraging them by mentioning them on our podcast.
I think it's good to point out these things so that people are able to make music that is more helpful to society, more, or not just music, but even entertainment that is more helpful and reflective. Because if for example, we make the Kenyan scene look like gang-related happenings is the more common occurrence, then at some point it will become
a
reality, which we should, I believe, as artists and as people of the society, consciously work against.
For sure. By the way, we'll be featuring guests. We'll be featuring guests in our episodes. Shaman, last words, blood.
Sound bites are going to get better. We're organizing live performances, and guys should be on the lookout for Mari's performance. Is going to be the first one I'm going to stage. Like we agreed, we're going to set standards for the industry. We're trying to do it practically, and guys should be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. It will be Shaman, Mari, and how do you say Mari and the band.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Today we decided to squeeze a lot of cards in there. Even there are some to Liwacha, but we still got time. We still got time for the next episode to talk about them. So there you have it. Booyaka, 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 Gatekeepers Musically Speaking Podcast, GKMSP, Season 3, Episode 1, The Industry Unveiled. Yes, I'd already said booyaka, so...